But yet notice our mean shifts closer to 900 in order to balance everything out. It's actually greater than 3 of our items. It's not in the middle. No, it is not. Actually, we have 100, 200, 200, 900. Yes? And it shifts closer to 900 to balance out. Okay? Just like a teeter-totter, you had to move that sometimes. Now, we're going to get to some more pictures and what this means in the future. Now, okay, that's the mean. Next, what we have is the median. Okay? The median. Now, in Ohio, we call the median that little grass strip in the middle of the highway. Yes? You're on a divided highway. The right side is going this direction. The left side is going this direction. And in the middle, you have this grass strip. We call that the median. I'm not sure what other states call it. I know it varies state to state. But you can think about that grass strip. It's right in the middle. And that's what the median is. Okay? The median is right in the middle. Now, right in the middle of your data set is very easy if you have an odd number. Think about it. Let's go back to our shopping list, our original shopping list. Now, some months actually have 5 shopping days. For instance, if you shop on a Monday, you can get 5 Mondays in 1 month. Yes, think about it. Now, each month changes, but sometimes you have 5 Mondays in a shopping month. And so, let's just go and check that out. So, if we were on our regular schedule, 100 plus 200 plus 100 plus 200 and plus 100. Okay? Now, what we would do to find the median, we would line those up in order. So we'd have 100, 100, 200, 200, and 200. Now, the median is very easy here because it's the one right in the middle. 200. My median is 200. Median is 200. Now, you have to ask yourself, what happens if there's an even number? Let's go back to our first example. 100. And again, I'll just line them up now. 100, 200, 200. Okay? In this point, there's no clear middle. The middle, if you start counting, would be these 2. And that's what we do. We actually average these 2. So we take 100 plus 200, we get 300. We divide by 2, we get 150. Yeah? And the median is right here at 150. Now, these are grade school concepts, but I'm taking a lot of time because these are fundamental for understanding what we're going to do in the future. Now, you can read about the median, you can see the formula, you can understand that the formula is going to look confusing, but this is very easy. If there's an odd number, when you line them up from smallest to largest, it's the middle. If there's an even number, when you line them up from smallest to largest, it's the average of the 2 in the middle. Okay? And this is the median. We generally represent the median by a capital M with hard lines underneath. Okay? The last thing I want to mention in measures of central tendency is the mode. Now, the mode is a very unique concept, the mode. And some people might wonder, what the heck does the mode mean? But the mode is the item that occurs the most in your data set. Okay? So think about, if I'm giving a test and I see 85, 85, 85, 85, 79, 85, 95, 85, 99, 85, 101%, 85. The item that occurred the most in my data set was 85. That would be my mode. It's the one that occurs the most. Now, the mode, it doesn't make any sense until you see a histogram. So I'm going to draw an approximate histogram of what I just explained. Okay? So I'm going to chunk my bars in 5, starting at 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 90, 95, 100, and 105 because this particular person got extra credit. Now, I just add on the frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on up. Now, remember, I started out with 185, then another, then a 79, then a 95, then another 85, and another. And then I think I went 101, back to 85, back to 85. Now, this is my histogram of my data. This is what Excel would look like if it was drawing you a histogram, although it would make it much nicer. I like to draw curves, and I'll explain it why later around this data. Now, when you draw a curve around your data, this is called the distribution, okay? And you can clearly see that the distribution here, you can clearly see that the mode is at 85, okay? So we don't use the mode a lot until we get into drawing continuous distributions, okay? And that's in a few chapters. That starts around chapter 5 and 6. But the mode, you need to remember, is the item that occurs the most. Okay, now, the next thing we're going to talk about is percentiles and quartiles. Percentiles and quartiles go way back to when you took the ACT or the SAT. Actually, they go much farther back than that, but in your recent memory, I think we can do the ACT or the SAT. I'm not sure, but I think everybody at DBU has to take the SAT or the ACT in order to get in. Perhaps some of you are in your MBA program, so you can go to the GMAT or the GRE. Any of those standardized tests will give you percentiles and quartiles, and what they do, they measure you relative to how everybody else did, and they say you got a 28 on your on your ACT. You got a 28, which means you did better than 90% of the people who took the ACT. Or you got a 1100 on the SAT, which means you did better than 70% of the people who took the SAT, so on and so forth. Now, quartiles are very special. Quartiles are special percentiles because they are the quarter breaks. The 25th percentile, the 50th percentile, the 75th percentile, and we never get to the 100th percentile. Okay, that's the maximum value. We never use the word 100th percentile. We use the word the maximum. Okay, so quartiles, 25th, 50th, 75th, and the maximum. Now, we never say the 0th percentile. I don't know. We use the word the minimum. Okay, the minimum. So, what did we call the one in the middle? That's the 50th percentile. The median. That's right. And so we call that the median. So actually we don't use the 0th, the 100th, or the 50th percentile because they have special names. The minimum, the median, the maximum. Okay? We use the 75th and the 25th quartiles. Okay? These two quartiles, and you can see my arms moving. Between those two quartiles, what percent of our sample do we have, or our population? Think about it. 75th to 25th, we have 50%, or we have half of our data between the quartiles. We call that the interquartile range. Okay? We abbreviate the 25th percentile, we abbreviate it Q1. And we abbreviate the 75th Q3. Okay, Q3. Then, what we have in between Q1 and Q3, we have the median. The median lies there, but we have what we call the interquartile range. Interquartile range, abbreviated IQR. Okay, the IQR. Now, basically, if you look on page 101,